So, let's talk about something huge that's happening right now in global business. Geopolitical tensions are really forcing companies to take a hard look at where and how their products get made. And it's leading to a brand new strategy that is literally reshaping the map of global trade.
It all boils down to this one core problem. As this report from PI Industries points out, the world just feels a lot more uncertain these days. You've got conflicts, trade disputes, sanctions. It creates a ton of volatility. And if you're a company that actually makes or sells things, that's not just a headline, it's a direct threat to your bottom line. It's a massive push for change.
So in this new world of risk, businesses are being forced to adapt. They have to protect their supply chains from being disrupted. And this has given rise to one key strategic idea.
And that big idea? It's diversification. It's really just that classic wisdom, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but applied on a massive global scale. So instead of depending on just one country or one supplier for something critical, companies are now actively spreading their operations out. They're building a safety net across multiple locations to protect themselves from shocks in any one place.
Now, to really get why this is such a big deal, we have to grasp the sheer incredible scale of the country at the very center of it all, China, which has been, for decades, the undisputed workshop of the world.
And just try to wrap your head around this number. Over $3.8 trillion. That was the size of China's manufacturing market in 2023. To put that in perspective, that's nearly 30% of all global manufacturing output. It's the central hub in countless supply chains.
And, this dominance isn't just limited to factories. China is also an absolute titan in agriculture. For a huge list of essential crops, we're talking vegetables, fruits, staples like rice and cotton, China is the #1 producer in the world. This just shows you how deeply it's woven into the global system for basically everything we build, wear, and eat.
Okay, so you're a company. You're looking at all these risks, and you're looking at this immense concentration of production in one single place. What do? Well, you start looking for a way to hedge your bets, and this is exactly where a new strategy starts to take shape.
This is the key question, keeping executives and board members up at night all over the world. How do you actually navigate this new landscape? How do you secure your business for whatever comes next? Well, the answer many of them are landing on has become a major trend.
And here we have it, the core idea. It's called the China Plus One strategy. Now, the key here is the plus one. It's not about abandoning China. Its manufacturing ecosystem is just way too advanced and integrated for that. Instead, it's about adding a plus one, another country, another manufacturing base to build in some redundancy and cut down on being over-reliant on just one place.
So what does this China Plus One idea look like in the real world? Well, companies are doing a few things. They're shifting sourcing to more friendly or allied jurisdictions, and they're speeding up the process of finding a second supplier outside of China. They're also keeping more inventory on hand for critical parts and pursuing what's called nearshoring, which really just means moving production a little closer to home. It's a very deliberate, multi-pronged shift. So, as companies scan the globe looking for that perfect plus one location, one country is emerging as a top contender, a primary beneficiary of this whole shift: India. And its advantages aren't just temporary, they're deeply structural.
The sources we're looking at point to 3 main drivers that make India so attractive right now. First, there's a huge concerted effort to scale up its own manufacturing base. Second, there are massive investments going into improving logistics and infrastructure, basically making it easier to build and ship things. And third, India is building a growing network of trade partnerships, which helps reduce friction with major markets in the US, Europe, and the Middle East.
And the data really backs this up. This chart shows the Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI. All you really need to know is that any reading over 50 means the manufacturing sector is expanding. And as you can see, India's PMI has been consistently strong, recently hitting its highest level in over a decade. This isn't just talk, it's real tangible momentum.
So, this shift is about way more than just corporate strategy. It actually has the potential to redraw the economic map and create a more multipolar global economy.
This map gives you a feel for just how interconnected and global these supply chains are. The highlighted countries show where major life sciences operations are, and they span continents. Now, as the source material itself notes, this is for representation only, but it really visualizes the complex web that companies are now trying to make stronger and more resilient. This isn't really a retreat from globalization, but maybe a rewiring of it.
So what's the view from the C-suite? Well, check out this quote from the CEO of Corteva, a giant in agricultural science. He talks about navigating a fluid macro environment, which is basically corporate speak for things are pretty unpredictable right now. But even with all that uncertainty, his company is so confident they're actually raising their financial outlook. This tells you that while this shift is complex, it's also creating some serious new opportunities for companies that can adapt.
And that leaves us with the big final question, doesn't it? Is this move toward diversification a permanent realignment of our global economy, one that creates a more balanced, resilient system? Or is it the beginning of a larger fragmentation, where trade becomes more regional and more political? The answer to that? Well, it's going to define the world of business for decades to come.